Hello everyone, and welcome back to Lost Planeswalker. You're here with me, Jesse, the Lost Planeswalker. And today, I'm here to show you Kellen the Kid. This is another sweet commander deck from the Outlaws of Thunder Junction set, and I'm just going to jump right in because I can't wait to tell you all about Kellen. Kellen the Kid is green, white, blue, legendary creature, human, fairy, rogue, with flying and lifelink. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a permanent spell with equal or lesser mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. This deck is perfect specifically for Plot, the brand new mechanic from this set, and a older mechanic. I say older even though I played some of this set when it came out, Foretell, all the way back from Kaldheim. In addition to that, we got some awesome additional support from the Doctor Who decks for Foretell cards or casting cards from exile, so I can't wait to show you those off. But I'm going to do this video a little differently than I normally do, just because all of the cards basically focus around Plot and Foretell and casting some from exile. I really couldn't group them together like I normally do, so I'm just going to go through 4 different unique effects in this deck and then read through all the cards at the end, so you don't have to watch the end if you don't want to. I'd appreciate it if you do. But the first set of cards I'm going to talk about is discounting spells. So one of the cool things about Plot and Foretell is that there's ways to discount this effect, making it even more efficient. So starting out, we have Doc Arlock, Grizzled Genius, Raynar the Ever Watchful, Sage of the Beyond. So Doc here is a green and blue legendary creature bear druid with spells you cast from your graveyard or from exile cost 2 less to cast. Plotting cards from your hand cost 2 less. So first off, we're going to get some great discounts when we want to plot or cast Foretell cards, which is just going to make Kellen's effect even better, getting to cast stuff that we didn't spend as much mana actually to cast it, as we're getting value from our hand for free. In addition, just a little deck tech thing here, if you play a Muldrotha deck, you should be playing Doc in it. I can't imagine how much more powerful Muldrotha is going to when you can discount your stuff you cast from your graveyard by 2. Raynar the Ever Watchful is 2 white blue legendary creature spirit warrior with flying, and the first card you foretell each turn costs 0 to foretell. Whenever you exile 1 or more cards from your hand and or permanents from your battlefield, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So not only is Raynar going to get some great benefit from all the foretell, but plotting stuff is also removing cards from our hand. So we're going to be creating a ton of white spirits. In addition, casting some of those more expensive foretell cards for 0 on if it's the first one we cast, including Sage of the Beyond. So 5 blue creature spirit giant with flying. Spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 2 less to cast. Notably here, the plot cards are getting exiled from our hands and we're casting them for free, so we're not getting any discounts here. But on all of our foretell spells, that discount is going to be very handy. So next up, I want to talk about getting some value for casting our spells from exile. And the 3 cards I want to show here are Graham O'Brien, Osgood Operation Double, and Vega the Watcher. So Graham O'Brien and Osgood are both from the Doctor Who decks, and they make some tokens that I think is pretty helpful here. Graham O'Brien is 1 in a green legendary creature, human pilot with paradox. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, create a food token. Osgood Operation Double is 2 blue legendary creature, human alien shapeshifter. When you cast a spell, create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. Then add colorless. Spend this mana only to cast an artifact spell or activate an ability of an artifact. But paradox, whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, investigate. So we're going to be double investigating. All those discounts is maybe going to draw some additional cards from those clue tokens. And Vega the Watcher is 1 white blue legendary creature bird spirit with flying. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, draw a card. In addition, we have some other notable cards like Vega in the deck that are just going to give you value for casting spells from exile. Some other things I wanted to mention is some unique card draw, because there's some really cool card drawing effects in these colors that you don't really see outside of this, and they're really not as heavily played because the prices on them are actually pretty cheap. So we have Plan the Heist, Step Between Worlds, and Tales of the Ancestors. So Plan the Heist is 2 blue sorcery, surveil 3 if you have no cards in hand, then draw 3 cards. Pretty great effect. You can also plot it for 3 and a blue, which I think is pretty powerful here. Save it for a later turn when you have no cards in hand and just draw some cards. Step Between Worlds is 3 blue sorcery. Each player may shuffle their hand and their graveyard into their library. Each player who does draws 7 cards. Exile Step Between Worlds. Sadly, we can only do this effect once, but if our hand is empty, we can just shuffle our graveyard back into our library and draw a fresh 7, which this might be a little expensive for, but I think it's a worthwhile effect. And then Tales of the Ancestors is 3 and a blue sorcery. Each player with fewer cards in hand than the player with the most cards in hand draws cards equal to the difference. If we have everything plotted when foretelled away, we can just cast this as its foretell cost after we foretell it for 1 and a blue to draw, you know, maybe 7 or more. In the last section I want to talk about are some engine pieces in this deck. Some great cards are going to help the strategy get even more powerful or get some better effects. So first off, we have Fizzlethip Lost on the Range. I built a commander deck separately of this, so if you want to check out this sick commander, I would definitely suggest it. But for 1 blue Ledger Creature Homunculus, Ward 2, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. The top card of your library has plot, and the plot cost is equal to its mana cost, and you may plot non-land cards from the top of your library. So Fizzlethip here does a ton of work, but basically any card gains plot on the top of your library. You can plot it away, cast it on a later turn for free, which seems pretty good. Notably, most of the plot cards are kind of equal to their mana cost. Some of them I think are actually more expensive or cheaper based on what you got here. So Fizzlethip here is pretty cool. But next we have Kodama of the East Tree. And as soon as I read Kellen, I instantly felt like I was reading Kodama of the East Tree. But we have 4 green Ledger Creature Spirit with Reach. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't put on the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser converted mana cost from your hand onto the battlefield. So Kodama here is just another way to get more stuff onto the battlefield for free. Notably, we want to cast our biggest stuff and we can get, you know, some of that good value from Kellen and from Kodama here. And the last creature and last card I'm going to talk about is Railway Brawler. 3 green creature Rhino Warrior with Reach and Trample. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. Plot for 3 and a green. Railway Brawler is a really cool effect. I think it's honestly very powerful outside of this deck, but I think just buffing up all of the creatures that are entering with a number of +1/+1s equal to its power is going to just make an insane board that really puts our opponents in a tough situation. So now I'm going to quickly read through the remaining cards in the deck, but before I do so, I just want to say if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. It would just mean the world to me. I'm going to be doing a ton more decks. If you liked Kellen, maybe check out my Obeka deck I did earlier this week. It's a very strong deck, and I'm going to be making some very cool and powerful decks to help inspire you from this new Outlaws at Thunder Junction set. So without further ado, let's read through the remaining cards. So we have Arcane Signet, Aloe Alchemist, Augury Raven, Avrin Interrupter, Battle Mammoth, Beast Bond Outcast, Cosmos Charger, Djinn of Fool's Fall, Doomscar Oracle, Ethereal Valkyrie, Glorious Protector, God's Hall Guardian, Green Slime, Carfell Harbinger, Lone Shark, Outcaster Trailblazer, Outlaw Snitcher, Sarulf's Packmate, Scorn Effigy, Shepherd of the Cosmos, Sheriff of Safe Passage, Sisterhood of Karn, Slickshot Lockpicker, Stoic Farmer, The Foretold Soldier, The 13th Doctor, Visage Bandit, Kellen Joins Up, Nico Defies Destiny, Behold the Multiverse, Cosmic Intervention, Depart the Realm, Iron Verdict, Kaya's Onslaught, Mammoth Growth, Mystic Reflection, Path to Exile, Saw It Coming, Surge of Brilliance, Swords of Plowshares, Warhorn Blast, Jace Reawakened, All Runs Epiphany, Doomscar, Make Your Own Luck, Raven Form, Rise of the Varmints, Spectral Deluge, Starheim Unleashed, Struggle for Skemfar, and Tumbleweed Rising. Like I said earlier, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to this channel, leaving a like, sharing this with a friend would mean the world to me. If there is a card you think would be great in this deck, please comment down below. I would love to see it. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you. And today's Scryfall card of the day is Disrupt Discorum. Dinner and politics don't mix. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you later, Planeswalkers.